Today we have a special guest. Her name is McKinzie Casey, and she is in Denver, Colorado. And obviously, you've just taken the family someplace, or you've been out someplace. And tell me what's going on in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. So our state has just lifted our showing restrictions so that we can get clients in the door. A lot of what I'm doing right now is just virtual, but because a lot of my clients are out of state. But our city and a few of the municipalities have retained the stay-at-home order versus our state safer-at-home order. So there's a little bit of conflicting information out within our market, and so today was the first time we could get into something, but it's not universal across all companies. So it's
Yeah.
a gray area for sure.
Yeah, we have been doing some showings. We have been doing some deals, and hopefully I'm expecting one later on today. But most of the houses or properties we're showing, they're vacant. So
Sure.
there seems to be that. And even if they're not vacant, the sellers have moved away for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I put one under contract last evening in an occupied property where there was just a viewing contingency for 10 a.m. this morning. So they knew about this Monday lift happening, and so they
Right.
wanted to kind of jump ahead of all of the attention that we were anticipating for this house. So they
Yeah.
submitted a full price offer last night with a 12-hour viewing contingency.
Yeah, smart people. Let's
hmm
hope it works out well for you. I'm
Yeah.
sure it will.
Yeah.
So people who don't know your marketplace, first of all, you've got a very interesting story, because how many times have you made major
Moved.
moves in your, yeah,
Yeah, 5 times. So Arizona, Ohio, Illinois, a little bit of Wisconsin, and here to Denver. So my husband's a professor. We moved around a fair amount because of that, but now we're here to stay. No more moving.
no more moving? Absolutely not. Well, and now you have twins.
Yes, 5-year-old twins. They're very exciting to homeschool. I don't
Yeah.
really know what I'm doing, but we do our best.
Listen, I mean, between a professor and a very bright mom, I'm sure they're fine. You know.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
So tell me one thing. What would your normal market be? Sorry, my phone is ringing, but
No
now it's
worries.
not anymore. What would your normal market be with pre-coronavirus?
Yeah, we saw about 2 out of every 3 houses go under contract in the first weekend in our kind of peak spring market season. Every buyer has about zero point 0.7 homes to choose from. That's
Yeah.
doubled to about 1.6 homes to choose from. So we, our market is 90% of our product is south of $1 million. So especially anything south of 600 is still moving at a really fast tick. So it's really that kind of million plus, and especially 1.5 plus, where we've seen really a big number of people pull their properties off the market just from not wanting, buyers walking through. Those kind of south of 600 have seen a lot of movement still. And it's been seen as an opportunity for those buyers to kind of take advantage of the interest rates while not having to compete.
So just let me ask you a question. I have a friend of mine who just works just outside of your territory. She works in
Yeah.
Boulder, and she
Yep.
specializes in horse farms. And she said that they're
Sure.
actually fairly busy because people want to get a little bit out of the city because they're concerned about infection.
Yeah, I mean, I was on a really good call with the resort market also.
Right.
We have a number of offices up kind of in our resort markets of Telluride and Vail, and
Yeah.
they,
Yeah.
they they were really hit pretty hard from a PR perspective.
Yes.
They now are going to be seen as the first county to reopen, and so it's going to be interesting to see this kind of effect similar to after 9/11, where their true demand comes from those that are within driving distance. Really, in
Yeah.
9/11, people didn't want to get on a plane. Same with the situation now. So, even frankly, us as a family, we're thinking, we don't even know if kids are going back to school starting in August. So what are
Mm.
we truly going to be doing for the next, call it 12 to 24 months? Like, is there a chance we should be buying a mountain property just to have some sort of escape, within
Listen,
driving distance?
if you like horseback riding, I'll introduce you to Karen. She's great. She and I grew up together
Oh, fun.
in Alberta, and she's always been a horse person, and she's a great lady. Anyway, you'd have
Yeah.
fun with her.
Oh my gosh.
So coronavirus protocols. You've been staying at home. You haven't been able to actually physically show. Now you are.
Yep. It's a little nerve-wracking, frankly. You
Yeah.
kind of get used to a new normal, and now all of a sudden and everyone has a different comfort level. And I think we're all juggling so much, and we have so much noise of, what is impacting our life and industries and families. And so, our normal protocol is, glove up and masks and Clorox wipes.
Clorox wipe. Just don't drink it,
uh,
please. Do
no,
not
I
drink.
know.
Don't drink the
No,
Clorox wipes.
no, that's not on the plan. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's, I have a very high-end client. I'm showing 2 properties today. They
Yeah.
do not take it as serious. They're not really worried about it. And so
Yeah.
they're super anxious to get out there. And they're, it's handled very uniquely how you have that conversation of, these are not my safety protocols. This is, kind of put it on a company level. And we really want to make sure that we're keeping the family with 3 kids that lives in that house also safe when we're going in
Yeah.
there today. It's a super competitive situation though. They probably priced the house 100,000 under what it should have been priced at. And so it's going to be tricky.
Yeah. And are they out of towners, those people, or they're in towners? They're just not concerned.
So they actually came from, because of a job transfer, we got them a rental sight unseen. I did a virtual tour about a month ago with a rental property. They
Yeah.
moved into the rental. They are just not happy in the rental.
No.
And
Makes it.
they just really want to pull it. They have 2 young kids. And so they're willing to pay out the rest of the lease to kind of move into a more high-end house. And it was them just not being super familiar with the market here and
Yeah.
what, dollar amounts get you. And they thought they were paying a pretty penny for the rental side, but that really was kind of a sleeper of a house. So they're
Yeah.
just looking to kind of be in a bigger space because they
Yes.
are kind of trapped. So they're really anxious to get out and willing to pay 11 months of a lease to move to something with a bigger yard, bigger house, pool, all that stuff.
Well, I'm sure you can find somebody to sublease it. Is that a possibility
Yeah,
or not?
absolutely. Yeah, this particular lease allows for that. This landlord's pretty flexible, so it'll be on the agenda once we officially
Once you
are
get them.
locked up. Yep.
Yeah. That's
Yep.
great. It's great that there's still business happening. It's amazing. And
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about, because what I've always been impressed with you, McKinzie, is you've moved 5 times. All those
Yeah.
times you moved as a realtor, each time you moved into a different market, or 3
Yeah.
times, or yeah,
Yeah, every
each.
time.
I mean, I don't know how all of us, one of the big fears, I've been in this market for 40
Yeah.
years. And my
Yeah.
big fear is that as much as I would love to go into another market, do I want to
Mhm.
lose what I've got? Yet
Mhm.
each time you've started from scratch and you've become a star.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in Arizona, I worked primarily for a new construction brokerage house. So they
Mm,
only represented new developments. At the time was very different in Arizona where it was, either a resale brokerage or a new construction brokerage. So
right.
we handled all the infill product. And then in Ohio, my husband was teaching at Miami of Ohio, just outside of Cincinnati. And that was a similar thing. I did kind of new construction consulting for them. And then Chicago was really, and I don't think anyone knows the secret, but I was Jim Miller's first student. And so
Yeah.
he really was able to kind of put blinders on and say, like, this is how you plant the seeds and this is how you start. Where in a place that you have no reputation, how you leverage the brand, how you, the value of consistency. And the good part is I didn't know any different. And so for me, I just needed something to latch onto that I felt
Yeah.
I could be consistent with, because there's so much noise in this industry. There's a shiny penny left and right. And so
Yeah.
for me, I just needed to be able to have someone kind of put blinders on and say, this is how you do it. And then it was really, really just easy to replicate because I knew it wasn't going to be overnight. I
Yeah.
knew that it would be, a year. So
So the secret sauce is Jim Miller, CRM, or
Um, I like really embrace the micro farming.
yeah.
I remember Jim saying you need to be better at one thing, not okay at everything.
Yeah.
And so all of my efforts went into being the best at one single thing, be it a buyer demographic type or a price point or an area or a building or something. That's exactly what I did in Chicago. And
Yeah.
so for me, it was more how do I make sure that I'm better at this one little particular neighborhood than anybody? And then other stuff just kind of filters in because it does. And, I
Yeah.
just said yes to absolutely every single opportunity
Yeah.
that came my way, assuming that, it would all just grow.
Well, it's very impressive. It's not, it's a challenging business to be in if you're in the same location for 40 years.
Yeah.
But, to have moved as many times as you have, and now you say,
Yeah.
how did you finally put your foot down and say, I'm not moving anymore. This is it.
Well, my husband has tenure here, so that's
Oh,
great.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not
Yeah.
leaving here, but I think Jim and I actually had a conversation. I've never been in anything other than growth mode. I've always been, how do I start from zero and build something? I've
Yeah.
never been in kind of year 4, I guess, here in Denver. How do I sustain or not constantly have this growth mindset? And
Yeah.
so, a lot of calls to Jim and him saying, like, no, you don't need to keep building. Now it truly is about managing, the clients that you've dealt with in the past, and that's all you need. So,
Well, you'll do what I've been doing, which is eventually, I mean, 40 years in the business, you just have to keep reinventing yourself as well. And the
yeah,
business now, I mean, we're, so much change and Zoom and,
yeah,
new CRMs and new technology around the corner all the time. You just have to keep reinventing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, I'm fortunate because obviously I've latched onto the brand quite a lot just because that's all
Yes.
I've had in each one of these markets. I've
Yeah.
had to leverage the brand in all of these markets. So I am super, super systems based. My degree is in supply chain management. So I don't know anything other than creating an efficient process so that I can delegate. I mean, I am a mom of twins. And so I really like being home making dinner, and I like being able to maybe overpay for assistance just so I can actually live a life at the same time. So,
No, it's important. It's important.
yeah.
So just a little hint, what CRM are you using?
So I use Close. I think that it's crazy over the top. I truly just use it to categorize people and how I communicate with those people. So it's either like a, local realtor bucket, a non-local realtor bucket, your clients, or you are, people that are influential to my business, and that's it. I don't use it the same way that Close has the ability to, because it's over the top and it would
Yeah.
change the way that I run my business. So it's just kind of whichever one you're actually going to use.
So I'm looking forward to hearing about McKenzie Casey coaching.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, coaching business.
Um, I'm super open with all of my stuff. I think you know that. I'm more than
Yeah,
happy to share
share.
anything. People like Jim and Ryan and all those people they're doing such an awesome job in these
Yeah,
moments, and just having somebody to, let me just turn that off,
yeah,
to
yeah,
genuinely care about your success is
yeah.
everything.
That is everything. Anyways,
Yeah,
I want to say thank you again,
of
McKenzie.
course.
I adore you. I think
Oh, thanks.
what you've done and what you've been able to do, and the fact of moving and twins, and you're always there for everybody.
Yeah,
Amazing.
thank you. It's so nice to see you today from my home office as we're
I
previewing.
know. Exactly. Well, at least you're back there now.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Well,
right.
thanks again. I really
Of
appreciate
course.
it. And I
Absolutely.
look forward to talking to you soon.
Okay, sounds good. Enjoy your